Hi everyone, this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and the time that you have, that little window of time when your little ones are sleeping, can be a great time for making crafts. And sometimes you think, oh, I could be cleaning the house or getting dinner ready or doing all these other things, but taking the time to make a beautiful card like this doesn't take very long at all. You might just have to set up a couple different nap times to get ready. So I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful card like this in just the time that it takes for your child to take a nap. So stick around. Hello, new parents. Sometimes the only time you have to make crafts or to catch up on your scrapbooking or card making is the little window of time when your little ones are taking a nap. And so this is the first installment of what I'm going to call nap time crafts. And we're going to break it down into small increments so that just in the time it takes for your little ones to lay down or even have quote unquote feet off the floor time, you can get something done, something started. You might have to do this in stages, but it's broken down pretty simple, I think, and you'll come up with a nice product. The first thing is we're gonna make cards today for this nap time craft, and I have, to save myself time and so that I don't have to think, I have actually marked on my, I'm holding it up so you can see. I know you can't see it super close, the details, but I go ahead and mark right on my paper trimmer. And if you have a dark paper trimmer, like I think the Fiskars is a darker brand, you could get a piece of washi tape, real thin, or you could get like a white paint pen or a white Sharpie marker or something. A piece of masking tape would do just fine. But mark the measurements that you use most often to make cards. The other thing is, if you buy cardstock in bulk, regular base cardstock in bulk, like a big ream of it, then you can cut them in half and get a good card base. So first, we're going to start with a card base. This is something you could do in one nap to be prepared. This is Neenah brand 110-pound white cardstock. It's great for card bases. This is 8.5 by 11. I am cutting this at, I have one mark, and because I forget, I even put a number 1 because I will seriously forget. So I put a big solid line here on my paper trimmer. I put a number 1 at 4 1/4 inches, and I've got it vertically, and that's actually one swipe down the center, and I get that paper cut in half. This will make 2 cards. Now this, when I'm doing it on a rapid fire, I actually take my blade out for the second step, because otherwise I will be tempted to cut because I don't think and I'm tired. Then I put this at the number 2. My number 2 solid mark is at 5 1/2, and I put it there and I score. With this is it's not a bone folder, it's a folder that came with another product. If you don't have a bone folder, you could use the back of a paintbrush, which would work fine temporarily, or you could use the, a pen with the cap on, something like that. You could do that rapid fire, shoving it in, scoring, putting them off to the side, and you could do a bunch of them. Then later, you can go back and fold the card, and this is just to get your card base. You could choose to open your card this way, or I always choose to open them this way. I just do that. In one nap, you can have a nice stack of card bases ready to go. That won't take you long. You can start and stop whenever you want. If your child starts crying or whatever, and then you can put that aside and have that for the next nap. But the cool thing is that if your baby sleeps a little bit longer, then you can move on to the next step, and that's the fun part. It's the same concept, but we're gonna cut cardstock to make the top. So that's the part we're going to decorate. We're actually not going to decorate right on the card. We're going to make a piece that, see how this fits just real nice over top? And we'll glue that on later. Now we can decorate this, and if we mess up, we can toss it and we don't mess this part up. So leave your stack of card bases off to the side. We're going to cut some tops to decorate. This is a little bit shorter. I have a dotted line at the 4-inch mark. So it's the same thing. And don't you know I have to put my blade back in because I forgot I took it out. I have a dotted line here at the 4-inch mark. And at the 4-inch mark, I end up with this strip. I don't throw these strips away until it gets to be like a crazy pile, because I could always hand write. If I can't find a stamp that says exactly what I want, I could hand write happy birthday Jill, or you know, best wishes Sam, or whatever, and then cut it individually, and it's a nice handwritten card. So just you can make a small pile of these strips. My second mark here is I have a dotted line at 5 1/4, and I'm going to cut and cut. I save that too for the same reason. Off to the side. When the pile gets crazy big, or just too big for me, I throw it out because I always have strips that size. Now you've got these flimsier. I say flimsier because I don't use quite as heavy of a cardstock to decorate the top as I do for the base. This is an 80-pound white cardstock. You could also use a 60-pound or whatever white cardstock you have on hand. So this could be another whole nap if you want. And you could get a bunch of top pieces ready. And then you're ready. It just depends. I think if you go into the nap time thinking that you're going to get all the stuff accomplished, then you get on a roll, and when you don't get it accomplished, you get disappointed. But if you think, you know what, during this nap, I'm just going to cut cards, and then you put them to the side. And then the next day, you think, you know what, during this nap, I'm just going to cut decorative pieces that are all fit. Now here gets to be the fun part. For this nap, however long it takes, we're actually going to create, we're going to decorate a few of these. And these are ones I started. They did not take me long. I actually did them during commercial breaks of a TV show. And what inspired me is I saw out the window the way the sunset looked. This was the first one I did. And the sunset looked just like this. And I was like, what are those colors? And it just looked like orange, yellow, pink, and light purple. So I tried to do that. The next day I saw a sunset, and it was similar, but it was yellow, orange, pink, and purple. And I liked the look of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I have 4 inks. I have 2 of them are Distress Oxide, only because that's the color I had. They just happen to be Oxides. These are regular Distress inks. You could certainly use other inks that you have, if you have Stampin' Up! Inks, or, you know, this would be fine. It's not the exact pink. You know, these are dye-based inks. I actually don't know if they would achieve this look with the watermarks, but you could try that on your own for another nap, or maybe I'll do another video coming up. Who knows? I have the blenders. I have one for each color. If you don't have these blenders, you can use a makeup sponge, or you could take a regular sponge that maybe is brand new, not used, and cut it up into pieces. And you could do that. You could try to use a cotton ball temporarily. Here's what we do. I'm going to start with the orange. I am not pressing very hard. I'm actually gliding. This is a non-stick craft surface. If you don't have one, put a piece of paper or cardboard underneath your flimsier paper. This is not the card base. Remember, this isn't folding open. This is just the straight piece we cut. And very lightly, I'm going to go along the bottom. Very lightly. Then I'm going to take yellow. Very lightly. Whoop, look what I did. Very, very, very lightly. And you know why that did that? I was pushing too hard. We're gliding. We're not grinding. We're not trying to grind it in like a mallet. Next, I'm going to take pink. Okay. It looks a little stripy right now. That's fine. We're going to fix that. Remember, the baby only sleeps for so long. We want to try to get a couple of these done. We can make them look good in a minute. Okay. All right. There. Now that's a nice covering. Now, I'm going to take my orange and go into the middle of the yellow and the pink. And I'm going to take my pink and go clear over the top of the purple and back and even back down if I feel like it. I'm going to do whatever I feel like with this ink. But I'm trying to get rid of the stripiness is all I'm trying to do. Just blending it. Now see how I got my finger in the yellow and the orange and it came up there? That's fine. You know why? Because it looks natural. It actually looks like a sunset. As a matter of fact, I might even want some purple down here. Now, if I did that, I wouldn't want to stick it, especially when you're working with oxides. I wouldn't want to, if I got a big gob of purple on here, I wouldn't want to stick it back in the yellow. I'd contaminate my ink pad. But just for the blending, it's fine. Okay, I'm happy with that. I have a black Archival ink. And I have, this is a Stampin' Up set of stamps that are trees. Archival ink, black by Ranger. It is acid-free. It is permanent and waterproof. You definitely want a waterproof ink for this project. And I love these stamps. Now, I know this is probably going to wake up your baby with all this tapping. You could try to do this. Okay. Your coverage might not be as good. So maybe this is the part that you save for when the baby is playing real good. Right in your sight. I add that in. Okay. This is a long stamp. I could just do that and be fine. That would look lovely. I want to use a little, because I have a variety of stamps, I'm going to go like this and press it here and just push just on that half and then take it over onto the other side and press it here just on that half. And then I'm going to take my bigger tree and do the same thing. I'm going to put him right in the middle. That looks real nice. I had another stamp set because maybe in one nap you can get the stamps together that you know you're going to use. Then you don't have to dig and sort and whatever. Get everything out for the one project, then it's sitting there and ready. You can put it away when the project's over. I had this stamp set also by Stampin' Up, and I thought sending wishes your way might be nice because I just want to make a card that can go for lots of different occasions. I have an acrylic block and I put the cling on the acrylic block like that. and we're gonna, that is lovely. Sending wishes your way. Where should he go? Right like that. That is beautiful. I have a tape runner. I use the Advanced Tape Glider by Scotch. People call it an ATG gun. I do too. You don't have to use quite that much. I just do that once around the border and an X in the middle. I'm mounting this right on here. And there you go. Now for a final step, which you could do before if you wanted, take your, this is a distress sprayer. Any spray bottle will do with water, and just light spray. Look at that. Now I can walk away from that. I can let that completely dry on its own. Because I used Archival ink, it won't mess up the black. Because I've got a mix of regular distress inks and Oxide inks, I'm going to get a really, really neat effect the way it dries. This one is the same, just one spritz of water. If you wanted a little bit more, you could certainly add bigger, small spritzes. And each one comes out just a little bit different. Certainly, if you don't want to use trees, you could use a flower or whatever stamps you have on hand. And certainly you don't have to go off the side. It's your choice. But in just a few minutes, we have made a really nice card. And now that can sit, because it'll, as it dries, it'll, the Oxide inks, then the water will oxidize that ink. You'll get a really nice effect. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to put a link in the description box to all the products that I've used today. And that way you can make them your own. I really hope you enjoy your making crafts during the few minutes you have either at commercial breaks or during your child's naps, and it keeps you active, and it keeps your love of crafting there. Please like and subscribe this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to Sandpaper Road on YouTube, and follow Sandpaper Road on Pinterest for lots of great ideas about crafts, scrapbooking, mixed media art, card making, and lots of other neat tips and tricks. You can follow Sandpaper Road on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to place custom orders or shop for any products created by Sandpaper Road, you can visit Etsy.com and look for the shop name Sandpaper Road. And this is Erin from Sandpaper Road, and enjoy your next nap time craft, and happy crafting.